Welcome back, everybody. It is the SpitFyre Podcast. It's your cowboy Carter, Xi,
Robbiey,
Akii.
and today's topics we're going to be discussing things of really all things of the Black community, but more specifically the coddling and the enabling of certain individuals within that particular diaspora.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
True.
But we'll lead with, of course, something a little bit more lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
What is everybody's Cowboy Carter track?
I'll go first. Two Hands to Heaven. Wow. The moment I heard
What a moment.
I heard it, I loved it immediately, and then when she did that switch over into like R&B and the harmonies, it was just top tier. And then the way it goes into Tyrant is just Tyrant itself is also but Two Hands to Heaven for sure.
For sure.
That was a major sleep for me at first, and then I finally
insane.
got it. But my one that from first listen, I've been cranking it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Drea Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, but Yaya is if that has any indication of what she's doing on the third one, I'm ready.
Yes, it's giving Tina down. Down.
Tina Turner.
Yes, I'm very excited for it. For me, unconventional. A lot of people don't have the ear for it, but Daughter, top tier. Probably some of her best work. My girl flipped into Italian mid-song. She's an absolute psychopath in it, but it's sung so beautifully you'd never know.
Just like me.
So, yeah. But all in all, I guess we can kind of jump in right into things. So,
Got some hot topics for y'all.
How y'all
We
doing?
figure, we in the spirit of Wendy, who is
doing?
still with us. I don't know why he's doing that, but a lot's been
Your
going
day's a
on
number, girl.
recently. A lot's been going on recently. I figured we could start like a little bit I guess not lighthearted, but a little bit more lighthearted because there's been a lot of beefs around, but I just don't want to start just there yet.
Everybody's so angry.
I figured, this is still a bit of a beef. Amanda Seales versus The World. She responded to like claims about why she should be here, why she's not there, and it's just disrespectful to her. It's like they don't like her because she, is just outspoken and she speaks the real and this and that. And I was just like, this is funny because everybody who has said they had an issue with her has never said it was
You
about.
do not like that lady.
It has never been stated that it was because she was outspoken, he spoke her mind. It was never that. It was always
she's nasty.
She's rude. She's nasty. Has a nasty spirit. And so she fired back at basically everybody saying y'all don't like me because I speak my mind. I don't care. Stop talking about me, this and that. And I just have to say personally, no, I don't like you. But it was not because you don't speak. It's not because you speak your mind. I think she's one of the few people who's very educated on the topics that she speaks on. However, when your personality and your attitude and how you treat others comes into play, it sort of outweighs the message you are, I guess, putting out there.
You can be
I don't know.
You can be educated as all get out, but that doesn't give you license to be a dickhead in the process just because you are well read or well versed on whatever topic you decide to babble about that day.
Yeah, and it's just due to my personal experience with her, due to other people's personal experience with her, I'm it's not because you are outspoken. It is because
That energy.
You're
is-
evil.
You can feel
You're
that.
nasty.
and
She is brilliant.
Wicked.
brilliant.
Sharp,
She's an evil
intellectual.
Witty.
She's on it. She knows what she's talking about.
And quick on her feet.
Very.
Very.
But baby, everything I've heard about you, it has nothing to do with you making the room uncomfortable, bringing up uncomfortable conversations, topics, things like that. It's
I really
always
live for that.
It's always energy in your personality.
She does come off a bit abrasive, which I think one reason why I don't necessarily dislike her is one, I don't have firsthand experience thing. I try to take it with a grain of salt, but then I know as an individual that oftentimes a lot of folk view as a bit abrasive or a little direct. I respect somebody that's not passive aggressive, lead with aggression most times. But I can definitely, with that, you also have to understand that that's not always you attract more what the old folk be saying? You attract more bees with honey than you do vinegar or something like that. Like your message gets lost when the delivery is just abysmal, which tends to be kind of her theme.
And it is, and I would say I'm pretty sure she's a very spiritual person. Like, you know,
is she really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and that just in my, you know, and I've said this countless times. I know a lot of people get mad at me. Them spiritual people, the people who be so spiritual, they have the nastiest spirits. Don't believe me? I'm sorry, Erica Badu.
Go to church.
Nasty spirit. Like, and I'm not even talking about like religious type. I'm just talking about the people who be like all into crystals and like, I need good energy. They always have
the worst energy
spirit and the worst energy.
Like, that's why you're always having to sage your home. Like, you're the evil.
Like, how you sage it and you the issue.
Like,
set yourself on fire.
I have never, I don't know what it is. Never met the lady, but like I've never. That energy just, I don't know. It's something is off about it. Like, something is off about it. But I also, when people used to say that, I was just like, I'm not gonna hold her to the standard that she needs to be cuddly and kind all the time.
Yeah,
that's what,
absolutely.
That's what black women, they want to throw that on black women all the time. But baby, the energy is just, it's not. It's off. It's off.
And I think I saw actually something about that today of people mistaking being unkind with just people not being friendly.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with like I don't like talking to people for the most part. Like, it's just not my thing. Common misconception with me bartending, that is an act. That is not who I am. I literally peel that like skin off as soon as I get off shift. I do not like the interaction with folk. And it has nothing to do with me like being a nasty or an evil person. It's like, I'd just rather not be bothered 9 times out of 10. I just really rather not deal with others. As much as I can humanly hold. I mean, of course, we have to have connection and whatnot, but I try to minimize that as much as possible.
No, that's real. I agree.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And, you know, we talked about this last episode about Diddy and what he was going through. Well, apparently, rumors have it that his son is now also facing his own
just as bad.
allegations.
Apple fell from, like right by the tree.
They're saying Kristen Combs, that's the one. He has a song with Tiana Taylor. That's how I know.
He does. Yes, he does.
I actually like that song. But apparently he has his own allegations of him, like, sexually assaulting people, sexually assaulting women. So it's like...
And isn't Justin in the original lawsuit for like doing something similar or like being around underage girls as well?
I had no idea.
You didn't read the
Justin?
I didn't
the
read
the little light skinned pretty one?
I didn't read the full thing, no.
Well,
Oh yeah, I did. Well, after
knows
the
what they
Cassie one,
grew
that
up
one was so
watching,
juicy.
though?
I had to. What?
who knows what they grew up watching now?
Exactly.
True. And then also, if you're raised in an environment where that type of behavior is admonished, or just kind of like, oh, we can get away with it because we're either rich or our connections or whatever the case may be,
Statistically
you kind of feel
more-
like, you feel like as though you're untouchable in that aspect. So, or that some of those things will never get out.
And they
'cause
probably have been.
And
for the-
literally.
I mean, these
This is what
kids,
we
they're
know
good. They're good and
happened.
grown. Like, these people are good and grown at this
good
point.
and grown. And which is another thing, because I remember when they were seeing like handcuffed. Now, before all the rest of it came out, I was like,
They
I would
probably
be
liked it.
pissed if my father was in something and I was handcuffed while he out on
While he's in Bermuda,
So, like,
baby.
I was like, now why am I in cuffs? But with that being said, I remember somebody was like, they was like, oh my God, these are children, and someone was like, Justin is 30 years old and Christian is 25. These are not children. These are adults.
Adults.
Like, I could even see if
That could be
Christian
tried
was
underneath
as
the court of
smooth as,
law.
like 20 or 19. Yeah, then, yeah, absolutely. 21 even. Yeah, this is still somewhat of a kid.
The only ones that borderline get grace for me are the twins. Like,
They're the only people who give grace for me. And also Quincy, because he ain't been a part of none of it.
he really has been off the way. And honestly, he's been with the twins. Like, he's been their main like prominent caregiver since Kim passed.
Yeah, which, I mean, that then brings me to I'll Be Sure. I think you were still kind of trash for what
Dickhead.
you did. Saying you could always come home. And while everybody was like celebrating him saying that, I'm like, you ain't got your son number. You can't text him this. You can't call him that. Like,
Why is it a public thing? And then someone was like, well, you know, y'all get mad at him. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know, so what if he was a deadbeat? He's trying to be upbeat now. And I'm like, what? What?
trying to be upbeat is crazy.
That man is clearly like he's in his solid 30s, and there's nothing like somebody that's trying to spin the drain to.
Yeah, try to raise you when you grow, and he like,
I remember
little too
changing your
late.
diapers. You were only there for 2 years. I was only shitting myself for a while.
you know, like, but yeah, so that's
Shout out to my
going on.
pops.
Screaming, but yeah, so that's going on with Diddy and them. Hot mess.
Yeah.
You know what else is a hot mess? The city girl that is tied to Diddy, who honestly,
Cocaine coochie.
honestly, and Carisha, I can't even say you're a hot mess. But your bandmate, however, everybody knows I love JT.
I love her down.
That's my sad sister. Like, she's a Sagittarius. I love her, so certain things make sense that she does. She has found herself in a couple beefs this past week.
She do need to learn how
to log out.
Yeah, and then just not be as quick to think. Now, mind you, half the time she be getting on these people for, she's not wrong.
She's not.
But she has a good opportunity. Like, she's somehow kept her hands pretty much scot-free or clean with the whole Carisha situation. Exactly. Don't tie yourself to nothing else that is going to slow, because you got that alter ego single out right now.
That's a hit.
Heat. That is a you're a problem on that. And it's really, and you're getting a lot booked with all these different fashion houses. You're doing the alternative girly. You're pretty much becoming like the more lyrical, well-versed Lil Uzi, the female version. What was I about to say?
What you gonna say?
I thought you were gonna say Lil Kim.
I mean, I
can talk about that old lady.
I can see that, because it seems like, with Sideways and everything, she was really taking inspiration from like. What's that girl? Jackie O. Do y'all remember? Not the president wife.
Ain't she a preacher or a pastor now?
Yeah.
I hate when people bitches find Jesus.
Same.
I can't
it's so annoying. I'm looking at you too, MC Hammer. I'm pretty sure he did it. And Mace.
And Lady Saw. I miss Lady Saw.
But like...
MC Hammer's the one that everybody was just like, that's the one that you really don't play with. Right?
Yeah, no, that's
he was the original Tony Braxton with the money problems.
Yeah, but he's that's also the one that like
don't play with that man, because
he will have you touched. He don't
really.
MC Hammer. He don't play. He said, "Don't let this dancing in these pants fool you."
Literally,
down.
All the other rappers be like, "Yeah, that's the one that's the one you leave alone."
Like they all have stories about how like he was like, "Oh, you gonna apologize to me," and they all apologize.
Hey.
They don't play with him.
And that's what I respect about the man.
Because
you would never think it would. But that's the one they all said. That's the one you do not play with at all.
I'm so. I feel like you and Diddy. I had no clue this was this man's lore.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane. But like, so JT started. So let's take it a couple steps back. Mm-hmm. Apparently, at the VMAs last year, it was a rumor that Glorilla slapped JT. When it was first,
I had no idea about this.
Glow. I had heard of it.
I didn't have no clue.
I had heard it, but I didn't believe it. And then JT, when they posted it, I think on the Shade Room, JT immediately was like, "This did not happen. Why? What are y'all talking about?" Cool. Glorilla then went and did another interview or something about it, and kind of like played into it a little bit. Like, no, like, I did not slap that girl. And they were like asking, like, "Oh, did you?" She was just laughing, wasn't really saying like what happened, but she was like, "I ain't slap her." That then turned into Glorilla releasing, one of our favorite songs, "Yeah Glow," because like, I mean, it goes. Hey, it's very inspirational. Thank you for that. It's very
she had to get one hit.
She got a couple.
F and what else?
Tomorrow.
I mean, let's not.
Okay, yeah, but
we're not gonna go there. But
she got some
Glow's hits and singles and stuff like that has outdone JT's singles.
They have.
Glow's. Have they really?
Yes.
By far.
Y'all
and large.
Wishy-washy girls. Because
I'm not a wishy-washy girl.
1 week, we not looking at the charts. We not looking at where they
stand. But we're saying.
No, but you said hits. You brought it up, baby.
Me, there's hits that like never chart to me. Like Brandy has hits in her discography that have never seen the light of day on the radio.
I do get what you're saying.
We're not gonna go there.
I do get what you're saying, because like, I mean, JT even talked about it at one point. But like, Glorilla got some hits. Like
she does have hits.
She got hits.
We don't feel that's the colorism too.
No, that's more. That's what I don't think it's colorism.
That's the talent.
It's the team.
It is the talent.
It's the team.
You think Glow raps better than JT?
No.
It's the team.
But she has talent, though.
She has the better team. Yeah. I mean,
but then JT just signed to the same team as what Doechie's on, and Doechie keeps a cute little budget.
True, but before that, they just had QC. QC was not trying to help the city girls at all.
Garbage.
So she released "Yeah Glow" in the song. She
Carisha attached to it too, though.
Slapping rat bitches and making bail, ho. And that then people were like, "Oh, now she really slapped JT." Yada yada. At this point, JT really hasn't really said anything. She's been ignoring it. She's doing what most she's doing what most Sagittarius do, which is like, I'm just gonna ignore you. But she's being poached.
And then when y'all finally lash out, sometimes it's a little.
It'd be like you lashing out at the wrong thing, but okay.
Wrong thing, and it just be a little extreme. Yeah. And it's like, you did not have to bring that lady's grandmother out the ground. Like, she was not even a part of this.
Who did that?
I'm just saying, like, that's where y'all would go.
Yeah, true. Well, that then took another turn because Glorilla released another song. On the song, she was talking about
Wannabe.
Like, I don't know.
I haven't listened to
Unity.
it yet.
Me either.
She talked about unity, and she was like, I wish Cardi and Nicki could come together because that would break records," which I agree. But then she said, "Me and JT ain't the best of friends, but there's no beef." And
That's
JT,
unnecessary.
And that's when JT responded. And JT was like, "Oh my soul, I don't have no beef with this girl. Why is she always mentioning me? Why she keep talking about me?" Like,
She said it was no beef though.
Yes, which I get, but
I get the unnecessary of like
as
why
a
put
fellow
it.
Sag, if I feel like you've been poking me time and time again about something that I know didn't happen, and then you get
It kind of gives gaslight. It does give kind of gaslight.
Because then when you like, oh, it's no beef, but you are playing into the fact that we have tension.
If there's no beef, why do you have to make a statement that there's no beef?
Yeah, and why are you playing into like, yeah, we not the best of friends, but there's no beef. That plays into the tension.
Yeah.
So, but it was still like in my head, like she said, there's no beef. You should just paid her. Be like, yeah, there's no beef. I don't know her.
Like y'all heard the woman, like, and just kept it pushing.
You said it in your own song. Beefing
Right.
with who, bitch, not you. Like you could have.
Hey,
If Glorilla would have just said, I didn't
Glorilla.
slap her, I just hit her.
She did. She
With a
didn't go on to
purse.
say I didn't slap her.
What's
I
the other
just hit
thing?
her
It was
with a
the purse.
purse.
It was the
And
purse.
JT was like, "You did not hit me with a purse either." At this point, I don't know because she kind of standing on it, and I just feel
who,
like
JT or Glorilla?
Glorilla. And I just personally feel like if you
I'm not gonna say so. I hit somebody and I hit
and
him.
I didn't do it, but also I'm not gonna let
Everybody
you
that was
say.
there said it.
Because the first thing in my mouth gonna be like, and I do it again. Like, quit, keep lying. Like,
And I just personally feel like you're not about to go months taunting me about hitting me and you ain't hit me because eventually I'm gonna pull up and be like, "You want to fight now?" or like. But so they started beefing. They're going at it. Glow kind of whacked her a good couple times.
Hey.
She whacked her. JT got her
That
licks
mugshot
in.
is for fraud, not fighting.
Right. JT got her a good couple times.
That's
She
when
did,
that's-
but
Jay-
Glow
when she said that,
whacked her.
that's when
Twitter
when
has
she
been in
started
shambles
spiraling.
with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it has the Glorilla and JT thing, JT and Miami, Cardi B, Ramonte, Cardi B, Ice Spice. Like, I don't know. Like,
That was so unnecessary.
and this was all pre-eclipse, so I'm still like, what the hell?
that
Aries
was
season.
so
Aries
unnecessary.
season.
Ruckus.
Hey,
Y'all know what y'all like to do.
Rile 'em
come
up.
on now.
But yeah, so they started beefing. You hate to see it. Oh, your phone took a tumble.
Wendy.
Well, all right. Yeah, so they started beefing. They were going at it. At one point, Akbar got into it, which
I can't
Wow,
stand.
I
it.
can't stand her
that lady.
either. Like her and them teeth, I can't stand her.
Chin.
She got into it, and then JT's friend Gloss Up got into it, which
Who the heck? Oh, yes,
you
because she
know,
made that song with
Shibuya
them.
roll call. You know all them folks.
Her whole little cheer squad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's all.
Where
Okay,
are
but
the social
album that
media
they
managers?
released, as slept on as it was actually really
Even though
good.
they
It was
like,
actually
I
really
actually
good.
enjoy them.
The little Shibuya ladies.
With Glorilla and Friends.
Yeah, Glorilla and Destiny and the girls. Beyonce and the girls.
Not to be shady, but I know one is Aliza, and that's because I like her versus Shabuya. Yeah.
There are like 8 of them.
Yeah, she's like,
at
I'm
least
Aliza, I'm smoking reefer.
Every time
I'm a
they
stoner
start,
popular loner. I said, oh my God, it's me.
every time they start beefing or arguing on social media, I get really pissed. Not at them
Same.
arguing, but I get pissed at the fans jumping in.
Say, because they
Like,
they
you
egging
quite
it on.
literally
don't
are not
even know,
involved
like,
about.
what
They
are
be
you
egging
talking
it
about?
on.
And they be
Antagonizing
dragging it.
stuff. Yeah, whack her again for her dead child. It's like, what? Why did
why
you
is
do
that?
what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like,
You're invested, aren't you?
and
baby?
heaven forbid one of them like likes one of the crazy ass fans thing. Then it's
I love Sweetie. I'm sorry. Y'all can't make me not.
no shade, Nikki. It was because I have one black parent and one Dominican. That was funny. I'm
That
sorry.
was hilarious.
She had no
That
business
one
jumping
was-
in, but
that one was so unnecessary.
that was so funny.
It was so unnecessary, but it was.
First
so
of all,
funny.
why did you even mention Cardi's name? First of all,
Cardi mentioned her name?
Yeah, Cardi and Ramonte.
They was mentioning her.
no, Bramante. Why did you even bring Cardi in the thing to have
I
a video
got-
for her to respond?
So
to?
here's my thing.
I
So-
understand. You
I was
could
gonna ask you-
again. You could have used
who else-
Landon. You could have used.
I would have said
Somebody.
Can't
as
use
Cardi
white
said-
people because
Why not?
You
they
can,
operate in a totally different realm.
but
to where
you
it's
could
like
have.
you could have, but it would have not related in the same way. Like if we're saying, I think it's staying in
Do
the
I
vein
give
of
it to you?
staying in the
Yeah,
vein
like-
of person of color.
Person
at
of
least.
color, yeah.
Are
But
we
then with
forgetting
that,
Cardi's original debut?
no, we're not.
With the
It's
original
like-
set of teeth.
That
She
like,
always reminded
ghetto
me of that one-
trash type.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know who she reminded me of when she first came out? Y'all ever watch Doug?
Ooh.
There's the one. I think it's the rat. But she don't look like that now. She looks very pretty because she looks like Nicki. But
if that was like 2013, 14. She's 10 years in it though, so it's kind of like
she's
while
leveled
she
up.
does
She's
benefit
grown.
while she benefits from colorism, we all know that.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the best example he could have used.
I could see why he did use her as an example.
I do too.
But I also see like there was like
I can see why she got like, girl, keep my name out your mouth.
unnecessary.
Yeah. I saw one of my mutuals. They stated like, no offense, Ramonte, but Malik and what's the other? Name? DeAndre, they are both right there. Which I get.
And they're the same complexion as you.
Same complexion, but I could also see why he didn't use it because he was like, well, they not ghetto like me. but
that's what I feel like.
But
also,
he
said that.
But
That was the person
self-awareness
was
is
like,
shot because
that's who they was comparing him to.
And they were in that article. They only used group pictures of him with Malik and Dre, and that's like, Cardi said. I know what she really wanted to say when she said it, but as Cardi said, why not use a man?
I don't.
Why not use a man? Why would you use me? Why not use a man? I know, Cardi. We know what you were saying when you said that, and I agree. But
I be catching.
She said,
if you're unbiased, you can literally see both people's sides.
You can see both sides.
I still don't think it was a good idea to use Cardi.
It wasn't. I don't think so.
But I understand what he was saying. But then I also understand Cardi. He was like, "Hey, I've been doing this since
I just miss celebrities
2013.
acting like celebrities. Like,
well, we don't get. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are considered celebrities.
They're like microwave celebrities. They were literally on TikTok a week ago, and
I'm
then
not gonna say that.
Say
it.
He said, "I'm not getting."
This is the podcast for that.
He said, "I'm not getting dragged."
This will be our next popular reel.
I love Ramonte. His personality, everything.
He's
I love
him. See you on the 27th.
But like that's why I said Cardi was not the best person to do that because Cardi,
isn't black.
No, is a celebrity.
Yeah, and he's
like
not really
influencer to celebrity.
Boom. So she,
I could it would have made more sense, like you said, if he did use that Landon Boy, because that Landon Boy, he's not a celebrity. He's still considered like an influencer,
but and getting brand deals,
and he's getting those brand deals, being a caricature of a ghetto black woman.
Now that I think about it, you're right, because Landon would have been a good thing because he could honestly kill two birds with one stone: the ghetto issue and then the colorism issue,
exactly.
And the fact, like, so
and anti-blackness,
and 3. So yeah, I agree with Robbiey to where I'm like, if you're unbiased, you can see both sides of the coin.
But he don't like Cardi.
He's finding it. He's finding it, y'all.
I like Cardi. I do like Cardi.
I will say though,
she's a lovely lady.
I saw some people being like,
great gals.
Like, oh, you comparing yourself to an A-list celebrity, but then.
That's what I did
and
say when
and I get that. But then I was like, maybe if he worried about it, like when Cardi was first coming up, but then again, it still does not necessarily hit the same due to the fact that like she stated, like my first influencer thing was a $200 post on Instagram. Like that was it. Like I wasn't, and I still had to change the way I talked and how she looked, and it's true. But they were beefy.
She looks totally different.
And like you said, totally. Just like her fifth face. It's like her fifth face. It's insane. She looks good.
You're right.
She looked good. Listen,
practice makes perfect.
It's not too far off the original, but
not.
it is.
Let me tell you something.
Too far off.
I don't care how much plastic surgery someone gets. I will always hype them up for like.
If it's good,
I will hype you up.
I plan on getting my work done this year. Like I'm very pro plastic surgery.
Like JT, you look amazing, girl.
Stunning.
And again, it's not too far from their original face. It's just a pinch of a nose.
When they enhance their feet. Another good one is who's that? Michaela Cole girl.
Yeah.
Eats down.
7th Streeter.
The fact that you don't, a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't know,
nasty.
but her face is top tier.
Top.
Same with Dawn Rashad, but we all knew when we saw them.
And while you are still on trial and in the hot seat, Carisha too. Like Carisha, Carisha looked good.
Pretty good. Yeah, he looked cleaner.
Okay, to say, wow, girl.
She does. She looked a little cleaner.
She does. They both look well buffed,
well washed. I'm not saying that y'all weren't before.
I like the teeth,
but
I like Carisha's teeth.
Yeah, her teeth are nice.
I had an ex that just got veneers. They're probably some of the first decent looking veneers I've seen in a while.
Why y'all always have like 5 front teeth?
They're all front teeth.
They all have like 5 front teeth. They got no canines.
Yeah.
No nothing.
Just like a whole front row of incisors.
It'd be insane.
Chip Skylight.
But yeah, everybody's beefing. JT and Carisha started beefing at one point. Santana hopped in it. It looks like they made up though. They made up, which I'm happy about because I was like, now we about to.
That was like them girls
at
Union the other week.
Messy. But they made up, so we like to see it. We're glad they made up. Ooh, messy, yeah. But
sorry,
I guess we can. I guess we could transition into another hot topic, which will then transition into like the real topic at hand for this for tonight or today's podcast. Sorry, Angel Reese. I want to say one thing. Love you down, girl. Very talented. I can't wait to see what you do in the NBA.
She's one of my favorite golfers.
The WNBA. Well, I just call it the NBA because I know it's the WNBA, but yeah, she's really dope. The way she stated that people oftentimes forget that she is human. So like she was basically saying like, hey, like at the end of the day, I'm still a human. When y'all be coming at me all types of crazy, it'd be like, damn, that's kind of hurt.
Right.
Which a lot of people responded to her with, you can't want to be hard on the court, but then be soft in real life. Yada yada yada.
So strange.
Which was weird because she's not really being hard on the court. She's just trash talking as people do. Like she trash talks, and she said like, like if I'm trash talking, like we got this thing like her and Caitlin Clark. They had this thing like, yeah, it's just trash talk. It's just a game. However, it seems like fans tend to always,
they always
blow everything
drag
it.
They live vicariously through these people.
Yeah. So when she said that, she immediately was attacked. It was basically like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Yada yada yada. And it was like they completely missed the point of what she was saying. I really wish she had said, y'all don't matter, so shut up. But she did not, sadly.
Not everybody can be a Sagittarius.
And you can see how like the difference between how they responded to her versus how they respond to Caitlin Clark, which really highlights a serious issue. A lot of people are always like, y'all always want to make it a race issue, and it's like, we're not making it a race issue.
Y'all are making it a race issue.
When you guys when y'all purposely go out of y'all way to compare like Angel Reese or not even just Angel Reese, but even like the was it South Carolina? Wasn't
Girl,
South Carolina?
I don't know.
Even
I don't know nothing about football.
That's just basketball. It was Iowa. It was Iowa versus South Carolina. I'm pretty sure. Or was USC? I don't know. Y'all
was the one that was playing against Caitlin Clark and Caitlin was like that?
Sure.
It was that one tennis match.
Stop playing with me. But in that game,
they don't ever do it to the men.
But
men talk way crazier.
Way crazy. But
we about to fight.
The way they were treating even the comparisons to Iowa's team versus the other team, the way they were doing it, it was just so trash to me. And I knew what it was because at some point they were making a lot of racial type jokes or whatever, calling the girls ghetto because it's a mostly black women's basketball team. And I'm like, they all playing the same game though. They're all playing the same game. They're all good.
South Carolina is coached by Don Staley.
They are literally they're all talking smack. They're all doing trash talking. Why is it that it's okay for Caitlin to do it, but when the other girls do it, it's an issue?
What I never get was any of those with any of the sports that they do that, especially on the women's side, be it like in this instance field hockey, them being able to
basketball. NCAA, baby, college basketball.
Polo, whoever. Gold team. Yeah, hoorah.
Go Patriotics, go.
Bring home the gold. The dichotomy between the misogynoir in this particular situation, along with just, I don't know. I just really don't know what's going to be the final nail in the straw. It's just so glaring and apparent at this point, the combination of the wage disparities and the separate treatment between male versus female athletes. At least in my instance, I don't really have a clue as to what would be the primary issue to handle first in that instance.
So you gotta handle all of them at once.
You really do, but I mean, let's also recognize how the system is. It's in a perfect world, we just rip out the entire roots from the ground, but it's not feasible.
And it was just sad to see. And I also say, it kind of sucks because, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, they cool. Just like Caitlin Clark is cool with most people. It's really the fans. And I said that has to be a tough spot for Caitlin Clark because now I did see some tweets that were definitely racist. They were definitely racist. Mm-hmm. I saw them. I saw them in the replies to when like Caitlin had won a game. Also when they had lost, because they definitely lost. I hate to break it to y'all, but there was racism within them tweets. And then they turn around and like, y'all making everything about race. Y'all are literally calling these girls every word slur in the book, but we're making everything about race. And then it sucks for Caitlin because she's like, why are y'all trying to use me to get y'all racism off? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just here to play basketball.
Literally getting their racism rocks off, and it's like insane.
Mm-hmm. And it would also be a little easier if she would just come out and say, hey, y'all being racist. People would be like,
she is kind of ducking around it a little bit, but I understand it because like she has a reason behind it. Maybe she doesn't want to necessarily like if it's already affecting her, like to also have to face it head on. Mm-hmm. And she's also young. Like we have to come to like she's
22. Make a statement, girl.
I agree though. She could make something like, yo, chill. But like I feel like she did. I feel like she kind of did that though with the whole Angel Reese thing and back when it first happened. Because this is not the first time this has happened. This happened last year, right? And she kind of made like, yo, it's really not that deep. Because like she's known for doing, she John Cena. So in the game, Angel Reese said, you can't watch me. You can't.
And that's a fun time.
That's
what makes.
Have y'all not played sports?
That's my like. Even when I play video games, I love it. Even when I play video games, I don't like.
See, maybe I could be a little soft. I don't like it. Like all that hollering at me.
It's so fun. I'm sorry, especially like
I know I suck. Like you see me, I see us. Like
we win a relay.
Now what?
No, even when I'm trash and I know I'm losing, I'm still talking my shit. I don't care. It's so fun.
Because I'm gonna go in the trunk because my feelings hurt.
It really is healthy competition. Cause it's almost like there's like an unspoken rule like not to go too far when you do it. So most people be like,
and that's my problem. Y'all's like base level is my too far.
If somebody block a shot, get that weak ass shit out of here. You gonna be
your
like,
ass down, nigga. Like you do not care.
Now I'm loosening your lug nuts in the parking lot.
Because that used to be like when I used to play football with like with the kids in the neighborhood, like me and my brother, when we play football, we talked so much trash. It was fun. That's my that honestly is my favorite part about sports. That's
you do
why
like talking shit,
and that's also why like even though like don't judge me, I've learned how to play multiple times, but I always forget. I love when people are playing spades because the trash talking is just top tier.
Oh, it is a good time.
It's such a good time. I'll even tell them, they're like, you can't even play. I'm like, so. I'm here. This is fun.
You still suck.
You still suck. I know I suck, but what is you doing? And you know how to play.
I have an excuse. I don't know how to play.
Like,
you know the rules.
You know what you're supposed to. You're reneging like every time. It's really fun.
At the same time of the racism in sports, I kind of want to hijack for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Take your time, Pastor.
Colorism.
Oh, absolutely.
On Potomac.
Oh.
Baby. You the one who loves Giselle.
I do love Giselle. And I have said this multiple times, and I might get dragged for this.
The feet.
Gotta plant my feet for when they get to yanking me. I am a big fan of Giselle. I also am a huge fan of Monique. I wish she would come back on the show. She said she's not coming back.
The cap's on.
Pick it up. While I am a huge fan of Potomac, and I love watching it, there's always been like this thing like, so I would say probably around season 5 was when like, not season 5, season 6 is when this conversation of colorism on the cast of Potomac came up, because they feel like the other girls are treated like Candace and Wendy.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject because y'all know I don't usually watch these. Is this the season with all the beige ladies on it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they feel like Candace and Wendy are treated differently when it comes to certain things, which I would not disagree with. However, I do feel as though Candace always used Ashley as her example. And I think that is a horrible example to use. As someone who has watched Potomac from the first season, and this is my issue with a lot of Potomac fans, I was on Twitter watching Potomac when it was first airing the first season. Mm-hmm. Nobody liked Ashley.
Nobody.
People really didn't start liking Ashley for real until maybe the second half of season 3, and even then they were just tolerating her. Mm-hmm. When Ashley was doing her what she was doing, she was getting called out by all the ladies left and right. They were over it. Candace feels as though now every time she does something, they call her out, but they never hold Ashley to the same standard. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I feel like they do. I feel like they could be more forgiving with Ashley, but I'm like, they've forgiven you for quite a lot. I mean,
they let Ashley keep doing her shit. I don't like Candace, but
yeah, they do let Ashley keep doing her things. Absolutely.
Candace has a mouth.
That's that Sag in her, and I recognize
a mouth,
that.
But then she has the mouth, but then when people go back at her or go lower, then it's kind of like, oh my god. I'm like, Candace, you started it. You
very much can't handle the heat in the kitchen.
Sometimes.
And my issue with the whole thing, the situation when it comes to colorism is, honestly, y'all really were not there. Y'all really did not watch the show live on Twitter like y'all say y'all do. Oftentimes Candace is like, y'all don't let me get away with anything. Candace, you quite literally threw a knife at Ashley, and they never held you accountable for that. They never did anything about that for real.
Truly.
They never did anything about that.
The person that is the most, if I was on that show, I would get on their ass the most is probably Robin.
Same.
Robin has been aggressive for many seasons. Ain't nobody called her on shit. And while Giselle is an evil little lady,
I don't think she's
a first lady.
She's a boom, and I wish
she's a
people
very nice, nasty church.
I wish people would remember that she's a first lady.
When I see it, I said, "Oh, that's a church lady."
Like they was like,
"That's
Giselle,
a church lady."
She has no. Do you see how she's looking? I'm like,
"That's a church lady."
You ain't never been to church before. I could tell, but like,
that is a church lady.
It's
down.
insane.
Robin, now that
dumb.
Robin
was
the reads I would have for her.
Listen. I be telling her, I'm like, listen, I can help you.
Things that you've lied about.
Because I'm like, some of y'all need to call me because I can help y'all out with some reads because y'all need it desperately. Robin was actually like, she had potential to be a fan favorite since the first season because she was the one that a lot of people like and she was like the most real. She was like, this is what it is. I'm broke. I ain't got money like that. Like, she definitely was still shopping at Kohl's and we love that. But
we love Kohl's cash.
By season 4, she
was so up Giselle's ass.
She was like, she has been up Giselle's ass. I agree, and I do feel like oftentimes people forget. I think they do like sort of just agree on. They're very similar in my opinion.
Right.
But like Robin is just like, she's very disappointed. I think it is time for her to go.
Boring.
I do think when y'all are spewing like, oh, colorism, y'all often tend to leave out the fact that some of your fave that is the one screaming colorism has said some very colorist anti-black things as well about Monique, a ghetto hood rat bitch. The hood rat.
I think the entire franchise as a whole has a colorism issue. Like,
no, absolutely,
it's a big one.
And I do think I can't believe I'm about to say this. Because Candace did say on her show, she did say she don't think her castmates are colorists. But Ashley made like a sort of a good point where she was like, she doesn't think there's like actual colorists within the show, but she feels as though due to like even society,
I would say even if it's subconscious,
that's what's like, that's the way Twitter is going to respond to Candace doing something versus Ashley. They can't control that.
They view it as more threatening or more aggressive because they're a woman of a darker hue.
Yeah, but Candace also confuses me because like she has called Ashley forehead, a bed wench, a roach, called her husband a slave driver because her husband's an old white man. Called like everything. Ashley goes, your hair be dry sometime. All of a sudden, Ashley's a colorist because she said her hair is dry. You literally
she's not. I just think when they have the conversation of colorism, to call somebody on the cast colorist, to say that hey, y'all benefit from colorism, and do you see how society sees us, and then they think that you're calling me a colorist. Just how white people be like, you're calling me a racist?
It's like no, we're not.
Like
that's
you're calling me a homophobe.
The shoe fits.
Boom, you're benefiting from something. Doesn't mean that you're actually driving or targeting me, but you are benefiting from something. If you can just see that, but I think just because how they go about the topic all the time, and Andy is the worst person to ask any questions or moderate anything like that. I think when Giselle sits up and says,
"That white man has entirely,"
I went to a HBCU. My dad was a civil rights leader. It's like, girl,
baby, that's just black. We talk about colors. You got to go deeper, baby. Like,
so that's what I be thinking of it though. I just wanted to hit on that.
No, I agree. I will say though, I do think it's weird how Karen said that she felt like they were the best to have that conversation on the show.
The worst.
And Wendy was like, absolutely, we are not the best. We should not be having this conversation on the show. Which I agree. Which also makes it different. Then why do y'all keep bringing it up to have a conversation on the show? Like, I personally think, like, Wendy, I totally agree. I don't think no one on that couch has the range to it. Honestly, I would also say I don't think Candace has the range to have it, to be honest. Like she says she has. It would be best.
She's a deeply insecure woman.
She's a what?
Deeply insecure woman.
No, definitely.
That's why she lashes out like that all the time.
Like, and she just says certain things, and I just want to be like, Candace, you are also married to a white man.
Oh, that was the worst.
Like,
when she was on that one podcast, Mona, and she said,
like,
I don't want my kids to be light skinned. I said,
there's a good chance they're going to come out light skinned.
Even if you were to marry how genes work and all that stuff. But why would you say that, number one? And then
now your child going to see that and be like, huh?
She said, I'm okay with it now, though. I said,
there is something like, she's just, and here's the thing, Candace, I understand why you go to the gutter. I truly do. As a fellow Sagittarius, I'm also not your biggest fan, but as a fellow Sagittarius, like, I'd be like, yeah, no, Candace, you're right, because I would have said the same thing sometimes. But you don't always have to go immediately to the gutter. Now, I will say, and I would stand on this, you had no parts in that whole Deborah situation. I don't know why they're trying to put you and Wendy in that. Even if y'all was talking about that girl, you had no parts in that. That is not your fault that Sesame Street came looking for a fight and then got whooped badly. Shout out to Kiana, though. We really like you. We hope you come back the following season because she's so Baltimore. I love her so much. But yeah.
Who has the problem? You?
Literally. She's a good time. I love Kiana.
Yes.
But yeah, I do wish though that the Potomac ladies can get it together. I think they will eventually. And I mean, I guess since we're talking about it, we've talked about colorism, we've talked about racism. We can just go into the topic of today, which is today's topic is more so about holding the black community accountable, right?
Yes.
Especially certain parts, and why we coddle certain folks. Who would like to sort of start this out?
Well,
Well, only because I've been silent for so long.
He said, I don't know this shit.
I don't know nothing about this shit.
Here are episode about talking about, I don't watch that.
I do.
But I think, I'll say the statement out there, and I'm going to look directly into the camera when I say this. Most black hetero men are the weakest link in the community.
Oh, I've told that multiple times. People drag my ass. I don't care.
Only because what will never make sense to me in our community is the fact that we have been a disenfranchised, oppressed people pretty much since our entire all expenses paid vacay from Africa to America. To further proliferate,
right? We had to pay them off.
Jesus paid it off.
We paid all right. Shit.
I just never understand the further division and the proliferation of different.
Hey, reaching an thesaurus.
Y'all hate when I use a word over 6 letters. I don't understand.
It's not over. It's just, he be like, the super contrafragile. I guess we like,
proliferate is like.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
We got it.
When I think that it just doesn't make any sense for an oppressed people to continue to further oppress individuals within that community, because I don't know why. I would say honestly, no shade. It's usually cis women that are actually leading the pack, but right behind them are cis hetero men that are pushing the agendas of there being something wrong with an individual that's trans or gay or anything other than what fits into this very, very, very narrow box of what heteronormativity is.
Yeah.
I feel that it reduces the black experience to such a narrow, bland color palette. I feel like there's so much nuance and flavor and depth that is stifled simply because of the fact of us propping up and putting the cis hetero male experience on this pedestal as though that is the man or the thing to be.
I feel that.
I have said multiple times, I even think I tweeted this last week. So 3 people I always never have played about because they've never played about me growing up, like getting bullied and stuff. They always stood up. So I'm probably about black women, feminine gay men, and trans women. Well, black trans women and men. Mm-hmm. I say it all the time. I sometimes think that cis women are the actual issue. Because let me put it like this: if a man wants to impress a woman, right? And that woman thinks, oh, this is gay. Oh, this is that trans woman. Oh, this did it.
He ordered a lemon drop.
They're going to do everything in their power not to do that. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure that woman knows, I don't like these people. You ain't never got to worry about me being like them, doing anything like that. And to impress you, I might beat their ass. Yeah. I might talk shit about them. I might, do this and do whatever. And I think that drives a lot of the issues with the black community and the black queer community, because we are both at the same time.
We can't choose one over the other.
Cannot.
We weren't one before the other.
Yes.
We were not.
And it's like, y'all do this, and then let me also say this: when black men are afraid to be bi, when black men are afraid to say, "Hey, I like trans women," because bit of a do. That the reason is because of the homophobia. It's because of the fear.
I was gonna say, I hesitate to use the word afraid to do those things versus more hesitant to present as them because there is such a there's such a negative connotation of being those things. We all know that there are women that can dabble with another woman in college or even just hell yesterday.
Right.
And if she want to come back and be like, yeah, I'm done licking cooch. Let me go back to, the rivers and lakes I'm used to. No one bats an eye. Let a man be like, I sucked a little dick, but not my thing. Whoa, hello, what was in your throat? It's the way that they are not able to relate the two and somehow make this difference of just no, a girl mess with a girl's gay, but a man mess with a man, that's gay. And there's no coming back from that.
But that's insane. Some men hear that and they get turned on when a woman says, oh, yeah, I've been with another woman. Oh.
You know how many men are will push for a threesome and it'll be 2 women, but let her be well, can you and your homie come through? Now it's a problem.
What are you talking about?
Now it's a problem.
Train.
Now she's a whore.
Yeah.
It's really just, I think that they are...
And I feel in the same vein, I'm sorry, stop me, Robbie, if I'm cutting your point off. I feel in the same vein that because, how do I word this in a way that doesn't seem like I'm shitting on y'all? Because I really do love black men and all their forms and scopes. I do. The entire.
They gonna hate me when I tap in. Love y'all though.
But I am I feel because there's this connotation of just black men have it so hard and the world's against them and everything's on their shoulder, which it is. Which it is. Y'all negate all the shit that they're actually doing because it's just oh, let me not put one more thing on this person because, yeah, he might rob, steal, kill a little bit, but he's still a black man in America. And I just don't. There's a way to hold somebody accountable for these really toxic viewpoints and ways of living, and then also acknowledge the fact that they are also still part of an oppressed people.
I guess to the first point of it, I definitely do agree. I agree with what you guys are saying for the most part, but I also always feel these are also systems set up in place in society by black men that and I hate to say this, not saying people can't change, people can't evolve, but oftentimes, I'm not going to say oftentimes, in society, this is how things are set up, just I'll just say men in general. Just men in general. This is how certain things are set up in terms of how they view the LGBTQ plus community, in terms of how they view women, different things like that. And so, while I know people change, and as time goes on, like, society evolves, but I can't necessarily put a lot of the blame on, like, sort of like cis women, only just because, like, at the end of the day, these are the consequences of your own actions. No one told y'all to put these systems in place. Like, and especially within the black community, because oftentimes they see and I will say this, they see what happens in the white community and they see how the white man is treated, and they want that treatment within the black community. And we're not saying that you can't necessarily get that treatment, but we're not going to worship you.
Because a lot of people misconstrue the concepts of equity versus equality.
Boom.
Oof. Real bad.
So it's just kind of like you have certain individuals within the black community that don't necessarily want us to be treated equally to everyone. They just want to be able to be in a position to where they can have somebody subservient or at a lesser level than them. And that entire concept of there being this hierarchy, be it between males, female, old, young, whatever the case may be, as you stated, are racist, systematic emblems of how this country was established and really society as a whole.
The offspring of white supremacy.
Boom.
Oppression totem pole.
The inbred offspring at that.
That's really talking about that.
So, I mean, it's just, don't get me wrong. Like, nobody wants to be in a position to where they're at the bottom of the totem pole. However, when we continue to
Actively step down.
actively do things that are a part of a society that there is even a totem pole on versus it just being an equal playing field, it's kind of like there's certain things that just cannot coexist if we have a capitalistic model. Like, you're not going to have socialistic values in a capitalistic society. Like, literally the two cannot think. You have to, as you said earlier, completely root that bitch out the ground and plant something anew. And it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be new, and it's going to be like, we've never traversed these waters before, but that's quite literally how change happens. It is uncomfortable. True. It is an experience that causes things to where there are going to be individuals that are just like, change doesn't happen without a catalyst of some sort, and there being at least a push for things being different. And someone has to be okay with things being different, even no matter the lack of comfortability in that. And I think that's a big thing within the black community that is a problem. That a constant gripe that I hear a lot is that I hear a lot of folks say, like, oh, gays being put on your face, or it feels like it's like everywhere now. And it's just like, these people were brushing shoulders with you for millennia. Society was not established in a way that allowed these people to feel that they can coexist, they can be safe, they can live normal lives. And what you're seeing as like, damn, I turned my neck, everybody gay. It's like,
it was already like this. People was just hiding.
People feel safer now, which really should be a testament of progression as a society versus you guys feeling like we're regressing, or we're like we're losing the recipes, and it's like, no, we're making new ones.
Access to resources as well. That's why people on Twitter all the time, oh, all these kids got ADHD, all these kids got autism, because
their parents are getting them tested.
Maybe they're being tested. It's not because somebody wants them to be.
Exactly.
Everybody in therapy, and it's like, because we recognize we're not okay. And there's a lot more going on than there has been in previous years.
And I think just because, like, Robbiey, you said it earlier, in terms of, like, when it comes to, like, being black and gay, like, oftentimes they feel like you should pick, or they'll ask you, like, are you a black man first, or are you gay first? And it's like, I always said to that, like, if that question was asked, like, well, I'm both at the same time, but to you, I'm clearly gay first because you won't allow me to be, like, you won't allow me to be black first, because you're already asking or trying to figure out, like, here you go with that gay shit. And it's like,
because they see it and attach it to whiteness, though.
Exactly. And I
think a big thing that probably me and him can relate to a little bit is the fact that even ties into being a bisexual male. I feel like it's like you can have, like, I can very clear as day and be like, I have an attraction to women. I still
Women are a fun time.
I
can't swear.
a pair of titties is never gonna turn me away.
That's true. Sorry,
but the way, because again we have such a narrow box of what it means to be masculine, protective, the role, though. Yeah. I think my sisters asked me a few years ago when I explained to them, like, I've always identified as bi, but they're just like, well, we see you with more men than we do women, and it's just like, could your boyfriend right now tell you, like, hey,
and that's the thing.
I was getting thrashed in my last relationship, but I'm in a new relationship. I love you, and our thing is our thing. And I think a comment that my ex-girlfriend made to me that made me just kind of be like, man, I just don't ever. It takes a special kind of woman. It takes someone with a certain level of maturity and I think a very broad concept of life. She said, I can compete with another woman. I can't compete with another man. And the fact is, it's just like, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're in competition with anybody, you don't need to be in that relationship in general. In general. So I feel like it's something that... And don't get me wrong, and that's another thing too, though. We'll shame certain black men for choosing non-black or non-melanated partners of color or partners, and we don't allow them the safe space within their community to feel as though they can be alternative or have separate views or like...
I don't agree.
Me neither.
Really?
Me neither.
Because
all.
That space is created for them. I would say, listen,
as a whole, or like, are they like little niche pockets?
I feel as a whole. I will say this. I always said that, like, even though being bi and I still like women, it is very hard for me to find a black woman who's going to be willing to date me because I am bi. But...
And if you're not exactly like, you don't, like you've said in our previous episode, like, you don't check the boxes of like what's hyper masculine.
Yeah.
Like,
so like, it's already like probably not. But I also know, like, there's still some out there for me.
There's plenty, actually.
There's still plenty out there for me. But I also know that
sometimes the work for it is also with the hassle.
But also, I feel as though oftentimes, and that sort of goes into something else, but like, people internalize certain things, and then instead of doing the work and working to get through it and get over it, they instead go and then be like, oh, well, I can only do it with this community because X, Y, Z. And then you go on Twitter or Tumblr or TikTok and you see a whole community of black people just like this, and you be like, oh, I don't think we hold black people. I will say, though, as y'all said before, I don't think we hold black people accountable. I think black men are often able to avoid accountability. And when I say this, I'm not just saying cis hetero black men, I'm saying all black men. All black men are oftentimes able to avoid accountability.
Mind you, again, before we like go any further, I do want to like put in the aspect of, like, to Aki's point, this entire podcast is all black men. Like, we are not gay men before we are black men. Like, this is a dichotomy that we all share at the same time. So while we are rightfully disparaging the black male experience.
I'm not disparaging. I'm just...
No, I mean, men ain't shit, and I say that as a man. Like there are things that I like. That's part of being self-aware of. Like,
I don't feel like we hold the black community. We don't hold many members of the black community accountable, especially when it comes to black men. And I say that as, I mean, again, I'm on Twitter scrolling, and you see Charlamagne talking about some damn, I hate what they do. Like, I hate what they doing to Diddy's legacy. Jesus. And it's like, while I could sort of see, like, yeah, that is kind of what they're doing to that man's legacy. But even then, I'm like, no, I can't see that, because these are the consequences of his actions.
That man did that to his legacy.
Exactly.
Like,
oftentimes, I would say Diddy. I would say Bill Cosby. You could say R. Kelly. You could say
Jay-Z.
You can say Jay-Z. Like, oftentimes, we allow certain people, because, like, sort of like what you said earlier, like, oh, this is the black man, you know, like, they always try to turn down a black man. But it's like, at what point do you hold black men
some of y'all need to be accountable?
At what point do we hold? At what point in our community do we hold certain folks accountable for the bullshit that they are doing? Because it needs to happen.
Just because you've gone rag to riches and, like, he got out the mud and he, you know, has checked off the box of so many things that a lot of us are not able to access or are just more difficult as a black man to achieve, that does not give him like license. It's just like, well, you know, he can rape a few people.
Yeah,
he can beat women.
Yeah,
he punched a bitch in the head or two, but he's a billionaire. Like
they do that. It don't even have to be. It don't even have to be like a billionaire or nothing. Like I've seen it within like the organizing community of certain leaders getting away with things that they should not be able to get away with.
But, yeah.
Like they get away with things that they should not be able to get away with, and we like, oh well, we're not gonna say nothing because like they helping us fight the good fight and they're pushing our fight forward, which I understand, but like. I think so. Oh my God, who was it? One of the founding members of the Black Panther Party or something. I think his birthday had just passed or something. They was talking about it, and it was like RIP to this legend, yada yada yada. And someone brought up, don't necessarily know if this is true, so I will phrase with that. But she brought up like,
the one where
he was quite literally raping black women in the ghetto or whatever, and he did it. He was practicing for what he was going to do to white women, and I'm like. He's a rapist, and y'all are like same thing with like
his mission was pure, and it's like what?
Same thing with Farrakhan.
Folk were raped.
Like what did he do?
Farrakhan, like he's a rapist. He's a pedophile.
He's a multiple sexual assault.
Like a pedophile, a rapist, and that's the thing. Oftentimes we don't know because everything is always so hush hush. Let's cover it up. Let's make sure it's not really broadcasted. And it's like, and this is why things continue to happen. And then when you have something happen like a Diddy or R. Kelly situation where everything is hitting at once, y'all like, oh my God, why wasn't y'all saying
nothing? And
why wasn't y'all saying nothing before? People were, and they were being silent.
Oh, yeah. And do y'all know what an NDA is? Like, I don't understand. Like,
it ain't even got to be an NDA. It could be something so like an ironclad tradition, like Black church, for example.
Hello, where it's like it's like being queer in the Black experience, in the Black church experience, will let you know that there's a lot of things that like you can do and you cannot do. Like you can lead the choir. But I'd be damned if you bring your man or whatever, and he's sitting in the pew too to like support you or something like that. Like,
no, it's true.
It's really insane when we think about it, and I think like in that same vein of like the church thing, I feel like I would really like to get to the root of it. One of us needs to start that study of like why are things that are in any other light we'd be like that's fucked up. Covered up in the Black community, be that your uncles, your pappies, your whomever, and I think younger generations are a bit better than it, but definitely like our parents and things. I can't tell you the number of our parents that had be it male touching male or male touching female, that literally I have an older family member that expressed that they had their like uncle or father or something of that nature that literally would have them lotion them up. And underneath the guise of like, this is a woman's role to do when she becomes a wife or something like that. And mind you, she's 8 and 9.
My Lord.
And everybody, the other women in the community, the family kind of got along and were just kind of like, well, you know, a man knows what a man wants, like types of vibes. And there's so many layers because like part of it's like different viewpoints of like back in the day when they were like, a woman's ends all be all was to be a wife, a mother, so whatever. Like as long as he was paying the bills and he was keeping things providing, you know,
he can have 5 families.
Yeah, he can have 5 families. Are the bills paid in this one?
Hello, shut your mouth.
But like they do that, but it's like, and you can even take it like you can even peel that layer off because you don't even have to go that deep into it. It could be the simple fact is how oftentimes in the Black household. The women, and I'm gonna say the Black household because that's the community I grew up in. And now my mama didn't really do this, but I will say my mama didn't really do this. Now I will say I did oftentimes see though, like, and you hear about it how like, oh, the daughters are cooking. Oh, you come in the house, you got to help clean up. Oh, you got to help start dinner. You got to do this. While the boys are outside playing, doing whatever, no carefree world. And then you wonder why your son is off to college now, a junior in college, not only starving, don't know how to do no damn laundry, don't know how to can't do basic things that they should know.
They didn't have to because they were coddled.
Exactly, and like
and
you
in the
said,
words of Tokyo Tony, it's the gay men. That's why they able to keep a man. They was in the kitchen with their nanas, like.
But like Robbiey, you said it best. Like we are coddled to the point, and I would say Yo-Yo did not coddle me. Yo-Yo did not coddle me. She was like,
Babette did not coddle me
get your
either.
ass up there and clean that bathroom, or She did not, but I will say,
was right.
while my mom did not coddle me, I know that there are other members in the Black community, whether it be the church and stuff, that did coddle me, and it's like,
and it takes self-awareness to not allow yourself to
fall into
be coddled, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like really, like okay, I could skate through, but let me, pull my punches on this. But yeah, no, I have like even just like my brother, he's heterosexual and. We're a blended family. I have a stepfather. He has a son, 2 daughters. My mom has a son, 2 daughters. My experience as the oldest son and his experience as the oldest son, gay versus straight, vastly different. Vastly different. This man literally borderline could commit murder. And the whole family was just like, well, we gotta bond together and we gotta collect costs to, get this man out of jail or pay his bond. And because I remember a distinct conversation where at one point there was a conversation of like, well, we might have to dip into Kier's college fund because he's going to be going away for a while if we can't get a good lawyer. Man, that man rotten pissed. Like, I love him down. Love you, Amir. If you had to do an extra 2 or 3 years while I'm graduating.
Oh, shoot.
But just the fact that was even on the table.
Yeah,
that them being like, yeah. So what if he pistol whipped someone 6 times and they lost a son, a daughter. That's our baby boy. We got to protect him.
Oh, black men.
What?
Black straight men, black gay men. I think sometimes that's why a lot of black gay men are successful. Always get it on their own. Is because we know we can't really fall back and do the same dumb shit that they do and get the same treatment.
yeah.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Because even in the church, if a girl got pregnant out of wedlock, everybody be like, oh my God, look at her, look at her, look at her. Look at him. He did it.
He did.
They both did it.
They
Takes
both
2
did
to
it.
tango.
They both did it, but they will never hold him accountable. They just be like, she should have knew better. She should have did this. She should have
never let him,
It's like, okay, but also, why can't it be like, oh, he should have never did X, Y,
okay.
and Z? Why?
She is so fast, and he's not a whore either.
Why is he not a whore?
That's Jezebel, but what is he?
Yeah, exactly.
Jezebel.
What's going on?
And I know y'all now. Some people might get mad, but then I do often look at the black men within the LGBTQ community, and I have to say that oftentimes y'all too are trash, and when y'all show y'all misogynoir,
Gay men are some of the most misogynistic
people, and they think because I'm gay, so it's okay. It's not, and don't get me wrong, I am not perfect. I find myself I had
to catch myself a few times.
I've caught myself a couple times. I love my friend Lex. Love her down. I love my friend Lex down, because she'll be like, when we talking, she'll be like, stay in a man's place. I'm like, you right. But sometimes I'm like, no, it's boring over here. I want to have fun, but
they're talking about tennis.
But oftentimes, I don't think that oftentimes black gay men realize sort of how misogynistic they do come off at times, and like sexist. I said, and sexist. Like y'all do that, and y'all come. It is terrible.
Y'all were part of these women's bodies. What they like. She looks this fat. She didn't look like this before. She don't do this.
Absolutely.
Somebody hand her the Ozempic. It's just kind of like, just because
if you don't go get on the grill and cut some grass,
build a house.
What happened to men?
And y'all also put misogyny and misogyny and sexism in the guise of the whole mask and femme debate that happens every fucking time. And I'm just like, you're both boys, baby. You're men. You're men.
It's true. But I see it, and it like I said, I know I'm not perfect. If y'all ever see me on Twitter, I definitely have had my moments when I slipped. But that's because y'all was talking about Normani, and I just had to get my lick back. But
Akii will snap.
Akii's insane.
Sometimes I will scroll. I'm like, oh.
I don't say too many things.
I said, oh.
Do y'all see that recent Rihanna interview? I think she released yesterday or today. And the lady was just like, it was like, do you ever feel like getting back at them the way you used to with Tiana Taylor and Sierra? And she was just like, I'm more of a quiet troll now. That's where Akii's at this point. It's never gonna leave. And but I think he's a lot more selective of when, even to show your, ruffle a feathers or two, because I haven't seen him in his best worst light.
Not that.
That was a long time ago.
I live in a mess. But just the way I've seen him clock folk before already, I'm just like, ooh, girl.
You have to lead with love,
That's why I try to lead with love.
Do you see? That's why I tell people. That's why, like, for a lot of things, like, especially like that is why when we do go out, if people do shady things to me, whatever, I pay it no mind, because I'm like, you know what?
Because if I take it there,
I know that if I really want to, I will make you want to fight me. And I don't know if I feel like dealing with that today. So I'm gonna pay you no mind. I'm going right
I'm gonna
back.
I'm gonna say controversial opinion, probably amongst us, not even like the community. I honestly think that Robbiey is probably the most reserved. Like, let's lead with love, lead with kindness.
It's true.
It's really true. Like,
it's true.
And mind you, a lot of people would think that it's like probably Akii first. I don't think anyone ever pegs me as being the non-confrontational. I've never given that. Lord's not done with me. But I definitely feel that, like, I aspire to be like y'all, a bit less reactive and a little bit more graceful.
Sometimes I don't be. Well, y'all know. Sometimes I just really don't catch it because I don't. If I don't see it for
slow.
you, and sometimes that. But honestly, if I don't see it for you, I'm not really gonna catch anything coming my way from you.
And because you're such a genuine person, I genuinely don't think that you can't imagine someone being that, like,
I say that all the time. To me,
you'll be like, yeah, they called you everything but a child of God, and you're like,
when?
Why? Why would they do that? I did nothing to them. And it's like, they don't like you, honey. And it's like,
oh, well.
I know I come off as standoffish sometimes, but I can't help it. I promise I'm not really standoffish. I'm really nice. What it is I'm very awkward. The Summer Walker pops out sometimes. So that's
I'm extremely awkward, but I also don't want to talk to you.
Like, the way, like, when I first really started going out again with Robbiey, the way folks was running to them, and I would just move right on out the way, like, child, let me see what's going on Twitter.
I like to talk to people sometimes.
Oh, you're a friendly bitch. Oh.
Mm-hmm. But gay, yeah.
Never meet a stranger.
Yeah, but black gay men, stop being so misogynistic and stop using your identity to hide. Like, a lot of y'all hide behind your identity. Like, so I'm allowed to be no. It's no.
Like, you know how, like, white gay men will, like, hide their racism behind the fact of, like, oh, well, I'm gay and I'm oppressed too, and it's just like, and racist. Like, you're oppressed and racist.
Like,
no, it's true.
Being a mean girl because I work here because I know this person because I'm in this group of friends because
I was bullied when I was young. Grow up.
It's true.
It doesn't work because sometimes I'm gonna tap you on your shoulder. You know you're not that girl, right? To be acting like that, right?
You better be looking at it as just a tap of them letting you know, like, because someone you might just get touched.
Especially if,
and that's what a lot of girls' problem is. Y'all haven't been touched.
No, because if like really sometimes when they because y'all know how I don't be catching stuff, but when I be catching them treating other people like that, I'll be going. Excuse me.
You will catch somebody being shady at somebody else before you catch it being at yourself.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
And be like.
Now, why did you say that?
How did you see that black woman being disrespected 3 people down? But that person has basically called you a bitch the entire night. You just like,
because not tequila cranberry.
not to be conceited or anything. I don't be seeing it from the people.
That's real. No,
you really do. You consider the source.
And I'm like, who is you?
Like, it's almost like you're not even on my level for you to be even like trying.
We don't reside in the same realm. We do not reside in the same realm for me to sit up here and try to catch you in orbit. Or, baby, go on over there, please.
But that's honestly, like, that looks bad on me to address what you got going on.
I don't think so.
For me, I'm just like, girl, what?
A fool is a fool himself.
But sometimes you got to get down in the gutter with that fool. And let
sometimes
them know.
you do have to punch a bitch in the throat.
You do. Sometimes you got to do.
Sometimes you do.
I just ask, black community, please do better. I think we have to do better. We are in a time where we need to do better. We need to be division, like, and I just want to hit on this one more time. It makes we can't be fighting for total liberation and equality and equity and all of that if not everyone is involved. Now, Walk with me. Some people gonna have to be excluded. I'm sorry.
Harriet left somebody.
So and when I say that is you, Clarence Thomas. You are being left, and we want no parts with you. But and folks like you. But if you can't continue to I'm gonna fight for this issue, I'm gonna fight for that issue, I'm gonna fight for this issue, and you're not actually but when it comes to when I'm in the organizing realm, it's okay, yeah, we're gonna tackle this, but then when a black trans woman or a black trans man or a black member of the LGBTQ community or even a black woman comes through, a black cis woman comes through and is hey y'all, such and such has happened to me, and it's
are you pregnant out of wedlock?
Or it's okay, wait your turn. We gonna get you once we finish us. And I'm that is so not fair because the way I see it, all of our intersectionality is a thing. All of our issues are tied together.
Two things can be true.
You can't exactly. You can't tell somebody to continue to wait and wait and wait. Yet the people you are telling to wait are also the people that are showing up for everything that is happening with you. Every time someone has these people, they are out there, they are fighting, but they're constantly having to wait. Or you're oh, that's not a black. That's not really our issue. That's the LGBTQ. Black people.
A lot of gay queer men were there for Trayvon Martin, but not a lot of them were. A lot of black cis men were there for when that young man was killed for voguing in the gas station.
They were not. They were.
And forgive me for forgetting his name at the moment. But.
And a lot of y'all were not there for. A lot of y'all were not there for Nigel Shelby either.
Hello.
Y'all were not there for that.
Still tears my heart up to this day.
That boy was bullied, and y'all didn't stand up. Y'all didn't do what y'all was supposed to do. Y'all did it
because let's call a spade. Certain individuals in the black community devalue queer and trans and women's lives over the lives of black hetero men
and kids.
And you should
devalue kids' lives.
Oh yeah, devalue kids' lives, especially if they feel like they're super young and they're just you can do it. They're only 3. You can do another one of those. That's insane.
I mean, that y'all already folks in the black community already let us know that if there's a house fire and you save your child or your husband, they was already saying they saving their husband.
First of all,
I do agree with that. I'm sorry.
You gonna say what?
My husband over my child?
You gonna say what? The husband?
How old are they?
You foul as hell. Y'all say that, but here's
the
thing.
Who would you save?
The child.
I'm saving the child.
Right. And who would you save?
He's saving the husband.
Probably my partner.
The partner. And this is why I say you foul as hell. Because and when I say this, I want you to listen.
I'm listening.
And it's not. I'm not saying that you foul. I'm saying you just foul for that.
That's exactly.
And
what
the reason.
I said it.
We talked about holding each other accountable. Go ahead.
The reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, once you do save your partner instead of that child, that partner's not going to want a damn thing to do with you because you did not save their child.
You don't think that I'm going to ask before I well, I guess they're both in the burning building, so it's not like I can exactly ask I feel like we had this conversation.
Aren't they both grown?
Who?
Y'all are both grown. Those are both grown. He can't get out on his own.
Exactly.
Truthfully, yes, but I don't
jump out a window.
My whole thing is
crawl.
I guess in my thing it's in the scenario, it's just if you had to save a partner thing. Well, obviously they're both in a scenario where they can't save themselves. That's why the question is being asked on which one are you saving.
Well,
but me personally, it's not that I don't devalue the child's life because let me say this: I obviously don't have any children. Not obviously, I could have children. There's gay men with children. We know them in the community. Shout out to y'all.
I don't.
But I'm approaching this as somebody that has never had children. I don't know the love, the connection that we have with the fruit of my loins that I would think. But me personally, more than likely, I probably have spent more time with my partner than I have my child. And
duh.
All the more reason why I probably have a little bit more investment in that person than I do the one that just popped up here the last couple of years.
And whole time, that partner not going to want a damn thing to do with you after. You'd have left their child.
Me personally, me as a partner, I'd be like...
And they going to be like, you let our child die. Literally.
If I was a partner that was saved, I'd be like, you fucked up, but... Thank you.
Thank you. But I always think of that situation because it's not even just that. It's Well, who do you feed first? The child or the husband? And
right, exactly. Because mind you, I have the different opinion on that. I feel like the child should be fed first.
The child should be fed first.
Everybody should feed the child first.
They're literally the one that's growing.
Like, my mom. Oh, Joni, love you, girl. People would be like, make your man a plate. He can get up and get it himself.
Listen,
that's what I just.
You eat, girl.
I don't ever understand that. And then when we got old enough, maybe. Make your own plate. Get up and make your own plate.
The only time my mom ever, like, when I got older, she started making my plate for me. The only time she did that was when she cooked down and she knew I was about to go in that kitchen and pow that bitch high. She said, "You will not eat this entire."
Portion control.
Yeah, she said, "You will not eat everything."
Or when you come home from college and she's so happy to see you.
She's just happy to see you. Let me take care of my baby.
But other than that, like I've never seen I think even with my sister,
differently in my. Bab's gonna kill me for this. My mom, I feel like, because she spent such an extended period of time by herself, when she did finally get a new man that actually treated her right, I think she was a little about it. So
you gonna tear that mic
gone. I think sometimes that it felt as though it's like. And I think I didn't tell this until I was about 21, 22. I was like, you never like brought it to our attention whether or not we wanted a stepdaddy. Like, you just married that man because he made you feel right.
She said, "Ain't got shit to do with me."
Literally, that was borderline her response. And she was just like, "Well, y'all said y'all wanted a dad." I'm like, could we?
She's so real.
Could we have a little bit more input in the thought process? Like, I mean, like, he was good to you, but like, girl, we used to be able to ask you questions like, why this bill ain't paid, why we can't get this, and you would answer us directly, and then he get in here and be like, stay in a child's place. Me and my stepdaddy butt heads all the time because I was like, girl, who are you talking to? I said, why can't I get this gum?
Answer the question.
Do you have it or do you not? And because of your ego getting in the way, now you can't answer the question. Girl, I will never forget. I'll say this real quick. There was one time, and I think we were just. I've never handled people yelling at me very well or just being overly aggressive to a situation that doesn't call for it. And he was talking to me about something. And as he's doing it, he's like slamming against the wall to make emphasis each time. Like, I told you to, one of those type of situations. And I don't know why this thought came over me like out of the blue. But as he was doing it, I was like, the next time he goes to hit that wall, just fall, crumble, and yelp. Because I was just like, in my mind, I'm just like, why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? And then when he went to, I saw that hand go up and he smacked the wall. I was like, and just boom, fall to the ground. My mom came from around that corner, just immediately mink, wearing his ass out.
You are terrible.
And I'm on the floor like, like looking at him like, I bet you won't do that again. And he didn't. I feel like you have to set those boundaries sometimes when, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with that as a child. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't allow children to.
Oh, true.
Children to be children, and they are literal small humans.
They're going to ask a question.
They're going to ask a question. They're going to have thoughts. They're going to have feelings.
They have to be taught everything. Yeah.
Quite literally.
Told everything.
And what's wrong with a question?
Nothing.
They're valid
It's
things.
not disrespectful.
At all. I will say, I feel like my sister, I know my sister who's married, I know when it comes to her husband, they fix each other. They'll fix each other's plates.
Yeah.
But they always they fix my nephew's plates first. Mm-hmm. But I've seen, just like she'll be like, oh, I'll fix your plate. Mm-hmm. I've seen like, okay, hey, let me fix your plate. Exactly. And I'm getting up. I got you. Yeah. I'm like, that's why I'm like, oftentimes people like forget that marriage, like, because my whole thing with my issue with the Bible was the fact that they were, oh, women should be submissive and things like that. And I remember me either. My mom was like, wow, yes, the Bible says women should be submissive, but also it also says like, I guess something around like men should also be submissive to their wife. Like,
and also you can only expect your wife to be submissive if you're doing what you need to do as a man.
But like, just like you expect her to like, oh, do this, do that. Consider you supposed to do that as well for her. If she go get up and fix your plate, you also get up and fix her plate. It's like it's an equal contribution.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah. However, people only see it as most people in how they enact it in real life see it as the woman basically just like on her hands, and he's like, "Can I serve you today, master?"
That's how they interpret it because that's how it's preached and how it's the sermon is going.
They don't ride that one scripture where it says like parents don't bring your children to anger as much as they do the ones of like children honor your father and mother.
Oh, they love that.
Well, beating with a rod and stick, whatever that thing is called.
They love beating with a rod and stick, but like heaven forbid you wear mixed fabrics. That technically was you should have got shellfish, but.
It's there's so many things. I'm like I can't
wait for our religion episode.
It's literally just like my dad will cook Tuesday, my mom will cook Thursday.
Yeah,
it just be boom boom off the bat, boom boom boom. But it was
and
never kind of like
too. While we're still in the vein,
submissy.
Still in the vein of coddling of men is y'all need home skills. I think home ec needs to be. Like, why don't y'all know how to clean? Why don't you know how to cook? Like, those are literal.
Cooking is not for everybody.
But
I'm sorry,
but everybody can. But like, everybody can make a. I think everybody should be able to make at least one dish.
You need to be able to cook for yourself
from scratch.
Like, it literally is a survival skill because you don't know if you're gonna lose a job. You don't know what's gonna like. We get an EMP tomorrow, and the grocery store is shut down, or everything go bad. Like, please be able to make something at home if someone can't get to you with DoorDash or something like that.
Electricity and shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're gas stove. I got gas, so I don't know.
Oh, I have an electric stove.
I have electric.
Okay, well, y'all might be dead, but I'm a grill.
That's why I always have snacks in it.
Me personally, like I always said, once the end of the world is happening, I'm out this bitch. Because, EMP knocking out if they do an EMP that knock out, like, Twitter and electricity for a good month, I'm
Twitter
out
is what is
really
what's
Twitter.
leading.
Like, once Twitter is gone, I'm like, y'all, this has been so
You're
fun.
like Jigsaw.
I just love life. But, no, I agree. Like, they definitely need those skills. And in the same token, I always found it weird because, like, we always have, like, oh, girls, you need to be doing this. The girls need to do that, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah. I
don't think, like, while my mom made sure we all cooked. Well,
we all could change a tire.
I learned how to change the tire a little later.
Right.
But while she made us make sure we all cleaned. I know I didn't cook
every Saturday.
My brother did not cook. My sisters cooked. My sisters cooked often. She cooked. And that was because, we did not know how. However, once they graduated, me and him, I was like, we got to make some shakes. So we started cooking.
I was going to say, if you don't mind me, like, tugging your wig a little bit, why do you feel as though, like you said, like, we didn't know how, but it's just like your sisters weren't provided that option of not knowing how. They were taught that.
Well, yeah. Basically, and they were also just be in the kitchen anyway because they would be just talking to her or whatever, and they just watched what she was doing, and then that's how I learned. I did, but I didn't pay attention.
Stand up in the kitchen when I be outside.
I'm not listening to you on this because
I would be in the kitchen with her when she cooking, not paying attention. I'm the same person who has drove in Youngstown my entire life, just rode around in the car with her, don't know where nothing that without GPS.
That's me with Columbus. That's me with Columbus.
So like it just wasn't. However, I knew how to make some basics. I knew how to fry chicken. I knew how to make spaghetti. And she always kept
this girl don't know how to fry chicken.
And it...
excuse me? You
don't know how to fry chicken?
You don't know how to fry chicken?
I do.
No, you don't.
I really
do. Walk me through the steps right now.
First, you get the chicken. You break it down. You clean it. Okay.
If you had missed that, I was going to immediately cut you off right there. Okay.
Then you have to season the chicken or put it in a marinade, whatever you want to do. Then you have to season the flour. Okay, you could do a egg wash, whatever you want to do.
I could cry.
Then put it in the flour. Then fry it, and then if you have a
what time should you put your oil?
Huh?
What? How do you know your oil's ready?
You put some flour in it, and if the flour floats.
Black folks so interesting. You said water. You said flour.
I've always done the flour.
And then there's me that has a meat thermometer that's it's 350.
You grab a little bit of flour, boom, it floats, it's ready. Okay. I heard the water thing too.
I'd be scared of the water because I'm afraid it's gonna pop.
If it pop, do that. Then you flip it, do it. Then you take it, put it on a little thing, dry.
So you can literally fry chicken in like regular grease without like a deep fryer, like without the little pan.
Zai, I don't like cooking. I know how to. I just don't like cooking.
But I will say that same thing. Like my mama kept, she kept in that freezer just like Hot Pockets, pizza rolls, chicken tenders, all that stuff. She kept the easy stuff in the freezer too. So it was definitely like, what is my mama cooking? Because
I can do like simple stuff. Mashed potatoes, the cabbage.
You know what probably is the biggest determinant of me knowing that like we are not living as well as our parents did? None of us got a deep freezer.
Yeah, can't afford that.
Can you imagine?
What food would I put in there?
Can you imagine like
ice?
some little ice cream sandwiches, get a little hungry.
Literally.
Just that used to be the thing. Like everybody had a deep freezer that had a bunch of meat and different stuff. Like
just for like like you see meat on sale. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get 4 steaks and throw them in here. The way that I'd be like, ooh, I get 2 maybe.
Them 4 steaks is $120.
Hey,
like
down.
But yeah,
that's gonna be eating an imitation crab.
Listen, I'll eat imitation crab. I don't care.
I prefer it sometimes.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Especially if it's with sushi.
If I'm about to make this dip, I'm so sorry. I'm not about to go and pay like $40 for half a pound.
And you're not
crab.
gonna know it's not real crab. To
exactly.
Be honest with you, but okay.
And what's the hack that I just learned recently? I guess it's not a hack. Other people have been doing it for years, but you know me.
Salmon in a can. With salmon patties? Oh, never mind.
I love a salmon patty.
Hey,
I hate a salmon patty.
So
I hate salmon croquettes. I used to. When I got old enough to finally be able to like cuss my mom out / not cuss my mom out about those. Like I told her, I was like, I ain't never liked them, and I always thought it was the most disgusting thing. Like it just screams poor. Why are you eating poor? You're eating potted meat.
A salmon patty with some grits. Ooh.
Girl, if you don't put a little teriyaki crumb on that or something, then like I don't want no salmon patty. Like salmon meatloaf is insane. It's insane.
It's so good.
You had to pick the spine out of that to be able to eat it. No,
you got to get the pink salmon.
You think pink salmon don't got bones?
The ones my aunt used didn't.
Oh
well, I mean, this was a pretty dope episode.
I loved it.
I think we talked about a lot. If y'all drag us for it, oh well, life happens. It comes at you fast.
Y'all done it before.
However, we did want to introduce a fun new segment called Final Thoughts. We basically just
rapid fire, if will.
Very quickly about something that annoyed us, bothered us, or whatever. Do you guys have any final thoughts for anything?
Final thoughts. My car pissed me off this week.
What happened?
It's in the shop.
Oh no!
On top of the window, on top of the bills, on top of the job.
I hate that for you. I'm so sorry.
But that's the only thing.
My big thing that like is really concerning to me is that I am very concerned about the children being so stupid.
They have been left
so
behind.
Dumb.
They have been left behind.
Because why can't y'all's kids read? Like my parents gave me book reports during the summer. I'm not saying that was a good thing, but
I hated it.
A bitch can read at her damn grade level the entire time.
Beyond.
I've always been like 2 or 3 years above. The fact that it's finding that like 40 or 50% of them are like not reading at grade level, that bonkers.
Because I think I was in 7th grade reading at college level by that point.
Mm-hmm. Like, and that was normal. Like a lot of us did.
Yeah. It's like, oh, why is he reading Harry Potter in the 2nd grade? Because
I will say this: I've had a couple resumes come over for some positions that I've been hiring for bartenders.
I know he was the fool.
Me.
I am discriminatory. Let me tell you this: when there were 2 resumes that I didn't get past the first line, because on a resume where it'll say like last name first, they had switched them, and that was enough for me. I'm like, we can't get past rule number 1 of just you putting your last name in the last name box and your first name in the first name box. You couldn't even get that far.
Oh no,
you're not the employee for me. No,
that's real. I understand that. I just have one that I feel needs to be addressed. Jared Carmichael. You'll probably never see this. Oof. And that's fine.
But I hope you do.
But if you do see this, please know that it's still at some part of me coming from a place of wanting just to wanting you to be better, wanting you to do better. Mm-hmm. You are such a disappointment. And I say that, and the reason I say that is I used to watch the Carmichael show with Loretta Devine. Mm-hmm. It was his show. It was a very good show. The thing I liked about that show is like they tackled a lot of issues, and they were never like. So you know how back in the day when they would do like, oh, this is our teen pregnancy episode, this is our racism episode, and it was just like everything about it was like that. When the Carmichael show tackled like certain issues, it didn't seem like that. It just seemed like this is a regular episode or whatever.
We just talking about racism.
Yeah, it just felt like he approached it. The show approached it in a very I felt very productive way, and not in like a tokenizing way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And when the show got canceled, when he ended the show because he was beefing, I want to say it was with NBC at the time because like they didn't want to air the Black Lives Matter episode. They would tell him to calm this down, calm that. He was like, "No, I'm a black man. Like I want to be able to talk about this." I was rooting for you.
Which is wild to see where he's at now.
So for you to go from that to where you are now is just very disappointing. He had his special come out like last year, his stand-up special when he actually came out. Cool. In the audience, somebody was like, you like white boys? And he was like, yeah. And people was like, oh, like, that meeting started joking. Then he started over-explaining. I said, boom, I already know what this is. I said, but you know what? I'm going to give you grace. I'm going to let it rock. Then then a preview for your latest reality show comes out. And it's about you, owning your gayness, talking to your family about it. Mm-hmm. And you are also trying to date. And in that preview, I saw you scroll through them profiles. There was not one lick of color in that profile. And I said, you know what? I said, maybe it was just the app. Maybe it was just the app that he was on. Who knows? Maybe it was the area. I'm over here trying to give this man grace.
I don't know how you didn't see it.
And then, every date you go on is with a white man. And I said, okay. And then he's sucking their toes. And I'm like, all right.
Maybe y'all can answer this for me. So, y'all know I'm very proud to say that I have never laid with an individual from the Caucasus Mountains.
Oh, that is insane. Okay.
To be proud of that? Or just the fact that I have never?
The fact that you said Caucasus Mountain, that is insane.
Yes. Spicy white, none of them. It's just never been my niche. Me personally, I just ain't never been that horny. Like, to where I'm just like, well, they ain't that pink. Like, I've never been there.
Gotcha.
But I guess, what's the appeal? Like, what is for me, the biggest thing that has literally stopped me from ever even like entertaining or anything has just been the cultural divide. Y'all know how much I say nigga. So even just switching my vernacular around the individual to have a modern.
Who switched?
I think you. It was like a 5-minute little.
Y'all be saying nigga around white.
No. Well, if I want to.
I mean, if I feel like they ain't gonna beat my ass, well, they not gonna
say it either. But I think I have never interacted that deeply with gay white men.
You had that whole 3-year relationship with that young man.
Oh, girl. That is a lie. That is a lie from hell.
It really just. I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. And
it was proximity going to a PWI that I just,
I
did a little whoop-de-woo on Jacked.
I was in PWI. I also was at a predominantly white high school as well.
I went to private school.
But congratulations, happy birthday.
But I'm just like,
I have no issue with interracial relationships or people.
I do.
I don't. My issue is when it comes to Jerry Carmichael, it's like when that is the only thing you are seeking or whatever.
It's the approval.
That's what I'm just like, okay. At one point on his show, I guess he like confessed his love to Tyler the Creator, and Tyler the Creator was like,
and I don't feel so bad about him dogging that man now that I know how he sits. I'm like, well, damn.
And the funny thing about that is Tyler the Creator is like, very much like a
I like white boys.
Whites only. And when we say this, we're not saying like, oh, they're bad for liking white boys. No, it's very weird that they only
they're not
date.
Saying that. I am.
That they are only date, like they are literally dismissing black men, which I have a theory about that, but I'm not going to get too much into that. I just want to say, Jerry Carmichael, you are very disappointing because even through all that grace that I did give you, I said, I was like, I'm not watching that show. I was like, he completely lost me. He was going on rants like, oh, like, y'all acting just like my mama, how she treats me for being gay. Y'all are denying a part of me, which I'm like.
A part of you likes white men?
Literally. But what really sealed the deal for me was when he stated how, like, he's dabbled into race play. And I said, all right, you did what? And then
double down and being like I sometimes play the slave and he sometimes plays the slave master.
Like, I make a joke with my white partner and he's uncomfortable with it. He does not like that I make
that should have been your red
master.
That should have been your red flag when the white person's like, this might be too much.
This is a bit too. That's weird. But
a lot of the OnlyFans girls are do it.
Jacoby.
Oh,
I don't really know their names. Is it Tyson?
Akii definitely do, probably.
All right, bitch. Not too much. Not too much.
But did you?
Not too much.
Tyson Santana too.
Oh, I do know him. Mm-hmm. He do that? Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
He had this big thing that was kind of big on Twitter for a little second where it was...
The white man exposed him in his messages.
Oh. That, and then remember there was the white man with the do-rag that was just like...
Oh, I was like...
That was insane.
That's insane.
That was insane.
Because then they try to be like, oh, and the white man be like, no, you was in my DMs. Don't try to...
Yeah.
Hold on now.
Yeah, Jacoby had this whole thing where he was like... I'm so sick of seeing all the black on black porn. Like, y'all need to, spice it up a little bit. Bring in some other colors.
The last thing I'll say is it's always rooted in internalized.
That's really what it is.
Something. You have to check where your preference comes from.
I literally want to see, because even my previous partner, they have never dated another dark-skinned individual. And they have said out of their mouth to me before, like, I'm not attracted to other dark-skinned men.
That makes no sense
which
to me.
Makes no sense. Like, do you not think you're cute? Let me say this. As somebody who, like, even though I know I'm like literally like 2 spits away from dark skin, I've always wanted just a hair more melanin, simply because of the fact of just
you
like...
You want to be brown skin so damn bad.
I am, girl. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. We literally
over here looking racially ambiguous.
It's this light. It's this light. It's just little. It's blaring.
You are basically Robin Dixon right now.
I did a chemical peel, and y'all would not let me live. Anywho, as 3 dark skinned men, I feel that it just is... I don't know. I genuinely do not and maybe again, because while I don't identify as this, a lot of individuals have expressed to me that because I am a individual of a lighter complexion, that my experience...
Are you transracial now?
Rachel's my daughter. I hate you. I know that, like, for me, I cannot wrap my mind around, like, what do you mean you don't like black skin? Like, dark skin? Like, that's the best to me. But I've never lived a experience on the... And again, this is self-awareness, which I think a lot more individuals that are told that they are light-skinned should be, is that listen to dark-skinned individuals and like what their experience has been and how things have affected them. Because it is a vastly, in almost every avenue of the world, of the word, it is a vastly different experience. Like, I've literally gone Postmating with my partner, and I told them, like, oh, we can make this much money. I get this in tips. I get this in tips. I was feeling sick one day and sent him out to do the deliveries. Like, and I was just like driving around, or I was like even riding passenger. The way that my tips dropped, like anywhere from 50 to 70%, because we were using my account. So it was my face on the profile, but he would be the one pulling up to give the food. 50 to 70% drop.
Yeah, no, it's
in
insane.
tips.
It's insane. It's weird to me, but you realize like there's something that it's rooted in that they have not yet worked out, and it's like they have to work that out for themselves. I know, me personally, being a true someone who is truly brown skin or a darker
right,
tone.
same.
Yeah, not you. Like so, me
right,
and
same.
Robbiey, we're here. I would say though, like I've even had instances because like again, I don't want to say like this color. It'd be so weird to me because I feel like I never really. It was not like a huge thing. It was never a thing in my household.
Right, because we're the same color, so you didn't really experience it.
Yeah, but like I remember like this one time I was on a date with this girl and we were just talking and we were showing like just pictures or whatever, and she was on my Instagram. She's like, "Who's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's my family." And she was like, "Oh my God, your family's so cute." And then she looked at me and she was like, "You probably be a little cuter if you were lighter like your family." And I said, "Huh?"
Mm-hmm. That'd be my last day.
I said, "Oh," and in my head I'm like, "No, I would not actually," because some people not.
Some people do not look good.
Some people
ugly
like
light skin.
The skin tone you have is what you were supposed to have. Because some of y'all bleach and y'all look crazy. Some of y'all as light skin don't be cute. Like y'all, I'm like, ooh, you would like. I'm like, you would look better if you were brown or darker. And so like, y'all, it just makes no sense to me. But like she said, and I said, mind you. Me and her were the same complexion.
I was gonna say she was. I was literally gonna stop. I was gonna say,
I said, well, that's.
They be struggling with something internal.
Sorry, I was like, well,
especially if they see you as a potential partner to where they want to have kids with. Like when I said like when I had a lesbian friend that said like foaming at the mouth for my damn genetics, which I mean like looking at me, I would be too, but. what they were mainly going for.
If I want to suck me too.
But their main proponent for the thing was the fact that I was they deemed light skin.
Stop fucking playing with me.
Right. This is
You sort of pissed me off.
You are dragging it.
But like that was like one of the main proponents. They were just like,
yeah,
we had a couple of them like, mind you, the other candidates were like, one dude was like 6'4" athlete, another dude was like borderline like this idiot savant, like just super super smart brown skinned individual, and then there was me that was pretty dumb and light, and they were like,
someone told me once,
that's what I want.
Someone told me once and they were actually of a lighter complexion, and they told me to my face, they were like, oh, I hate to say this, but they told me to my face, they was like, I just don't get it. I was like, I'm confused. Like, what do you don't get? Like, and they looked at it and they was like, well, because like, okay, hear me out. Like, you clearly have more black in you than me because their father was, I guess their father was actually white. Who knows? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. But they were like, I just feel like your hair should be a little nappier than mine. I was like, I feel like we got the same type of hair.
Oh, baby.
I said, you know what? That's what I was like, I just leave y'all where y'all at.
We'll chime in, guys, because we're probably going to cut this into a clip. No, actually, no. We won't go there.
Zai's referring to the fact that I said that me and him had the same hair type. He doesn't believe it.
And with
it's
me,
close enough.
With me having bleached my hair twice, and it literally have loosened my curl pattern probably in half, it's still not as loose as Aki's. And
it's still giving racially ambiguous though. It's giving Tariq Ali.
It's giving Shakira at best. Like that lady's a natural brunette. And well, let's leave on a high note as three melanated individuals that it's been another lovely episode with if I can keep my mic in front of me, another lovely episode with the SpitFyre Podcast. Again, we have your
Robbiey,
Bianca Belair,
Cowboy Carter, and again, there's another SpitFyre episode, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.